It is rumored, or even more than rumored, that if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Benjamin Franklin. Today we continue our 6-part series on lesson planning with part 5, the guided teaching cycle. There are many styles of lesson plans: planning guides, outlines, formats, forms, some with acronyms and some that are numbered. Many schools, districts, or administrators favor one style over another. Some sites may require you to have your lesson plans turned in weekly. Some may require them on your desk while teaching. The most important thing to ask is your site administrator what requirements are necessary for your site. In more than 30 years in public education, I have used many different styles and formats for lesson planning. I have found it useful to post parts of the lesson plan to be transparent and to hold myself accountable to what I post. Regardless of which format you choose, or you must choose, I have found that there's definitely 6 parts to a well thought out lesson plan. These are the 6 parts of a daily lesson plan, when fully considered, will lead to a successful lesson. Here's what you can expect in this series. Part 1, Objectives. Part 2, Materials and Resources. Part 3, Background Knowledge. Part 4, Direct Instruction. Part 5, Guided Teaching. Part 6, Closure and Assessment. In the first part, we took a look at the importance of standards, setting objectives, and asking questions to guide a lesson. In part 2, we looked at materials and resources you need to collect for an effective lesson. In part 3, we reviewed types and ways to build background knowledge. Next, in part 4, we explored 3 large areas of the teacher part in direct instruction. Today we'll be looking at part 5, guided teaching. This part of the lesson is a continuation of the gradual release model described in part 4, but the last 2 steps, the we do and you do. The difference is, here the focus is placed on the students. We do. The we do step of the gradual release method is all about working together, students and teacher, to complete a task. It can look as simple as the teacher posing a question to the students, asking for input on how to solve the question, and then working the solution together. This can effectively be done in a small group setting of students and a teacher or whole class. The key is to prompt, suggest, and guide the students into solving the question with the teacher. You do. The last component of the I do, we do, you do model is the you do. This can be achieved in 2 ways. 1, students can you do together to solve a question, or 2, students can you do individually. Much of this depends on the maturity of the students, the complexity of the task, and the competency of the students. The key is that the students complete the task on their own with guidance from the teacher. Gradual release. A final note about the gradual release method of instruction is that there can be and should be flexibility. All students do not learn at the same rate or in the same way. Students' needs and abilities can differ from year to year and even period to period. In one class, you might find that a straight I do, we do, you do method is all it takes for students to grasp a concept. Another class may take a more creative approach. I do, we do, you do, we do, you do, we do, you do, or any other combination. This guided teaching step of a lesson can take anywhere from a few minutes to a couple of days, depending on multiple factors: concept being taught, complexity of the resources, time allotment, and more. An important thing to remember is that part of the lesson that is most flexible during instruction is vital to mastery. Take your time in this area and read how your students are doing before proceeding to part 6, closure and assessment. Follow the link in the description for the full blog and for helpful links when designing your lessons. I'm Russell with iHistorian. Have a historic day.